Now, last year at this time, I did an interesting exercise where I changed all the folders on my iPhone to reflect an affirmation that I wanted to realize in 2023. Now, I can't take credit for this exercise. I actually learned it from a CEO of Birch Cove. Her name is Sarah Parkins. And she was looking at her phone and realized that she had a ton of apps that had gone unused. So she was going to, clean up her desktop by organizing them into folders. And then she thought, wouldn't it be revolutionary if she put an affirmation on each folder as its name, as opposed to, workout apps? And so she did three things. She took inventory of what apps she actually used. She considered what affirmations she wanted on her phone, which, let's face it, we all look at them 100 times a day. And then if the apps don't fit into an affirmation, does it really need to be on her phone? So in 2023, I did the same thing. I put my Bank of America, my Venmo, all of my payment apps into a folder that was titled I Am Abundance. And I had my most financially successful year in 2023 as a result. My LinkedIn, my Pinterest, my Instagram, all my social media apps went into a folder that said, I am in the best shape of my life. That's what the name of the folder was. And to be honest with you, every morning when I show up to my weightlifting class at Lift Tonic, I take a selfie of me in my workout clothes and I post it on Instagram, really for my own accountability, not for anything else. But I'm telling you, I remember looking at myself in a picture in Turkey and I was like, oh my God, I actually really love how my body looks. I'm in the best shape of my life. And then I put my Delta and my Uber and my Airbnb apps into one folder that's titled I Am a World Traveler. And last year I went to, I don't know, about 5 countries, and I lived a business that was built around my top value, which is adventure. All that to say that doing that exercise was very successful. So this year I have a new exercise, a series of them that I'm considering on how I can be my best self in 2024. And it was started by this quote that I found by Jim Caudle, that the reason that most of us are unhappy most of the time, is that we set our goals not for the person we're going to be when we reach our goals. We set our goals for the person we are when we set them. So, when I think about who I'm going to be in December of 2024, when all of my mastermind members have gotten on stage and given their TED Talks, when I have worked with 4 VIP clients nationally, internationally, when I have sold my one-on-one year-long premium content package, and I've successfully traveled the world with my business servicing clients, I will feel like X. So I've created a document where I have outlined all the ways I'm going to feel. But Eric Partiker, who publishes a CEO newsletter that I follow, talks about how it's so much easier when you're thinking about being your future self in 2024 to switch to a new identity than it is to change yourself. Because as Tony Robbins says, probably the most forceful thing in nature is our desire to be consistent with who we have always been. So, if you are trying on a new identity for size, here are some of the questions that Partiker challenges you to ask. One of which is, who would I like to be when everything I listed off as my 2024 year goals are done? Who would I like to be? And then what does the best version of me look like on the health front, on the work front, on the relationship front? I actually included a document in this newsletter so you can see what that best version of me looks like. I've actually outlined it. How does that version of me behave? How does that version of me get things done and interact with others? And then the next step Partiker talks about is to give each of those self identities a name. And then you take each of those identities and you put them in your phone and associate it with an alarm. So let me give you an example because I think that this is kind of confusing when it's this abstract. At 5:30 a.m. when my alarm goes off, I am a world-class athlete because I'm pushing to lift heavier weights at the gym. I'm building my cardio stamina. I'm treating my body like a temple, both with the food that's going into it as well as alcohol, water, so on and so forth. At 9 a.m., when I show up to my co-working space to work on my business, I am a world-class CEO because I plan my day the night before. I'm actively thinking about the 20% and focusing on the 20% that drives my business. I read 10 pages a day and I'm learning daily so I can show up better. I'm decisive, I'm organized. Those are the markers for me of a world class CEO and someone who knows how to really act under pressure. At 6:30 p.m., when I fold up my laptop and I head back home, I am the world's best partner. I know I am not sometimes the world's best partner when he's bugging me. So, how can I channel more loving kindness? I've set 3 alarms to remind me to channel that identity when I am waking up, when I'm showing up to my desk, and when I am going home. So, in conclusion, if you want to see everything I wrote, I did include a Google Doc so you can see it. But Partaker says that most people aspire to become their best selves sometime in the distant future. But a peak performer defines what it looks like right now and starts behaving from that identity starting today. So let me know if you do this exercise because I would be really keen to understand how it works out for you. In the meantime, I am filling for the 2024 class of my mastermind, which culminates in you getting on a New York City stage and giving a TED Talk. And so, if this is something that you have always wanted to do, DM me or write TED Talk in the comments, and I will send you details within 24 hours. It kicks off January 20th, so I'd love to see you there.